Welcome back to Askewed Reviews. And unfortunately, James Earl Jones recently passed, so I've decided to do a review in his honor. And what I've done is I've chosen a movie of his that I've never seen before. So today I am doing the 1982 film Blood Tide. Here is your trivia question for today. How many layers are there to the painting that Madeline is stripping away? The answer will be at the end of this episode. In the film Blood Tide, we meet a recently married couple named Neil and Sherry. They are heading to a Greek island trying to find Neil's sister Madeline, who has been out of contact for 4 months. Once they get to the village, there seems to be almost nobody there, but eventually they run into the mayor, Nereus. He seems to be under the impression that Madeline is nowhere on this island. Now, Neil and Sherry don't end up believing this and try to find her themselves. After some searching, they do end up locating her, but they also end up finding her somewhat dangerous friend, Fry. Now, once Madeline is able to calm Fry down, they all sit down together, and they end up meeting Fry's female companion, Barbara. So Madeline explains that this whole time she's been restoring a painting and staying with the local nuns in the area. Now, one thing that everyone seems to start noticing is that Madeline seems a little off and a little different. Now, the weirdness doesn't stop there, as all of the local villagers seem to be hiding some sort of secret. So Neil and Sherry spend some time here trying to talk Madeline into coming back with them. Now, Fry and Barbara, on the other hand, they are trying to break their way into a hidden cavern which might hold some interesting treasures. Now, once Fry manages to blast his way into a hidden grotto, it appears that he has now released something from its den. So, with an ancient amphibious monster now set loose, can anyone manage to survive or at the very least get off the island? So, when it comes to the movie Blood Tide, depending on which version of the media you're watching or owning, it does actually appear both as Blood Tide and Blood Tide. Now, one possible original title that they almost went with for this film was Demon Island. This movie was directed and co written by Richard Jeffries. The character of Fry is played by James Earl Jones, and he's probably the most well known actor to come out of this film. He does a great job at playing a very emotional, over the top character. Another well known actor in this movie is Jose Ferrer. Blood Tide was actually the last of a long line of low budget horror movies that Ferrer did, including Crash, The Sentinel, Dracula's Dog, The Swarm, Bloody Birthday, and The Being. Another familiar face is probably actor Martin Kove, who plays Neil. Now, it's weird for me to see him in a hero role, as I always think of him as John Kreese from The Karate Kid and the television series Cobra Kai. Kove, by the way, wasn't the only actor up for the role of Neil Grice. Jeff Bridges was apparently also up for it. The movie was entirely filmed in Greece. The temperatures during filming were apparently pretty unbearable, as daily it was usually about 115 to 125 degrees. Where they were filming, there was a lack of shade, water, electricity, and insect screens. There was also only one small restaurant in the local area. Most of the cast and crew would try to stay cool by sitting by the ocean. So I'm not exactly certain what the body count for this film is. You, of course, have the virgin from the beginning of the movie. You have the girl who was attacked by a shark, supposedly. You have Barbara, who has a great scene that is definitely an homage to Jaws. You have the mother who jumps into the water and then is attacked by the monster. And then you have however many nuns the monster ended up taking out. So when it comes to the film Blood Tide, I did actually kind of enjoy this one. Mind you, it does have its ups and downs. Like, for instance, I wish they would have shown more of the monster. I also have no idea why they had the weird incestuous kiss near the end of the movie. But some of the actual movie I did enjoy quite a bit, especially some of the characters. Now, at the same time, there were definitely some plot points that were lacking, so I think I'm going to give this one a 2 out of 5. Now, if you did enjoy this film, other movies I recommend are Demon of Paradise, the 1976 remake of King Kong, Jaws, and The Cave. And now it's time to answer the trivia question from the beginning of this episode. How many layers are there to the painting that Madeline is stripping away? Well, in the words of Mr. Owl, a 1, a 2, a 3. The first picture seems to be of a saint fighting a battle against a dragon. In the second one, the creature changes a bit to be more serpentine and now seems to be winning the fight. And in the third and final one, we have a much naughtier picture of the creature that exists and is let free that is now trying to get hold of its virgin sacrifice. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Askewed Reviews. And if there's a movie you'd like to see get a review, just mention it in the comments.